Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Anton, and welcome to today's video for Legends of Runeterra. Today has been the final day for spoiler season for the upcoming set, Glory and Navori. We have gotten our final champ. It is Jack, also a LOR exclusive champ for the moment, at least. Based on the previous card, Jack the winner, of course, from Bilgewater. He is a pretty sweet card. I actually really like his kit that he's got going. I think he's actually probably, I would say, the most versatile of the new cards, but then I thought of Samira, but I think he's really versatile, and I actually really like what he's doing, even though I'm not a big fan of his overall play style and his archetype. I'm probably going to play him a bit because I like him. So let's go and take a quick look at Jack and Jack's followers and cards that were released today. Okay, so as you can see, we got Jack, his champ spell, a couple new followers, and some spells. So what does Jack actually do? Well, he's got good stats for the cost. First off, 4 mana, 4/5, and he's got a good keyword, Brash. For the people who don't remember, Brash is basically reverse fearsome. A Brash unit cannot be blocked by a unit with less than 3 health. But what does Jack actually do besides that, besides having good stats for his cost and a solid keyword? Honestly, not much when he's level 1. Just whenever he strikes, he creates a coin. Okay, like that is good. Don't get me wrong, that's really good, but that's not... I'm gonna be honest with you, for a champion, I want more. So how do we level up Jack? Very similar to previous champions in this expansion. Spend 12 mana in one round. Similar to Set, where I believe Set is you have to have spent 40 mana. Not all in one round, of course. Honestly, that's kind of tough. Sure, coins make it easier, and of course we have like other cute things we can do, like Trundle's Ice Pillar, of course. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, a little bit tough to level him up. Brash is really nice in that he's probably gonna be hard to block and be getting a lot of coins, but I feel like he's not gonna level up quickly. I don't feel like this is a card you turbo level up. I feel like he levels up around turn 7, turn 8 usually. Of course, it also depends on just how heavy you want to go in on the rest of your deck and coins and stuff, but I like him though. Combines well with the other two champs we've seen, combines well with Samira, and combines well with Set, of course, because they're very similar in their level ups. But what's he actually do when he levels up? Because not that tough of a level up, but of course, level 2 for a lot of champions is where they shine. First off, according to his artwork, he gets big. But yeah, he first off gets +1/+1 like most champions, so okay, pretty standard. Still has Brash, and now he gains a new keyword. He gets Overwhelm. Okay, now when he strikes, he gets 2 coins instead of 1 coin. Very nice. And now when you refill mana, grant me +1/+0 for each mana refilled. So he gets the old Babs line of text. When you refill mana, grant me +1/+0 for each mana refilled. So that's a powerful... He becomes a pretty powerful threat when leveled up. Already hard to block because of Brash, and then even if you block him, he's got Overwhelm. So yeah, and he gets really big. At least his attack, his power is going to be getting really big thanks to his last line of text of when you refill spell mana, he gets +1/+0. Just naturally starting a turn should give him more stats. And of course, because coins are burst speed, we could even kind of use a coin as, let's say, surprise, here's like +4 attack to Jack, or however many coins you have. So yeah, I like it. Not very complex, but I think he's very versatile. He kind of reminds me of Trundle, like the Trundle of Bilgewater, in that, if you don't realize what I'm trying to say, Trundle for Freljord was just thrown to a lot of decks because Trundle is just good stats for his cost, very good keyword in the form of regen, solid level up too, thanks to getting Overwhelm, and growing in stats too, just like Jack. So yeah, I think he's really good and will go into quite a few Bilgewater decks, of course. And we got a couple more cards, of course. First off, we have this Champ Spell, Risky Venture. I like it. I think it's really, really good. First off, 3-mana slow spell. Deal 2 to a unit. Kind of bad for a spell, honestly. Like, slow speed's already bad. 3 mana just to deal 2 is awful when we have things like Heavy Metal just in Bilgewater alone. But if it kills the unit, you get to create 2 coins in hand, so you get a little bit of a refund. I like it, but it is a little expensive. I think if you are going to play this card, first off, it's a great champ spell. As for champ spells, insanely good champ spell. And I actually think it is main deckable too. Yes, Heavy Metal does compete with a spot, but I feel like if you care about casting a lot of cards in one turn or something, like, you know, Samira or Jack, or casting a lot of cards overall, like set, then you'll play this card. Obviously, you're going to need a way to like chip away at smaller units, but even at its weakest, where it's just a 3-mana slow speed deal 2, it's bad, but it's still fine. It's not terrible at its weakest. And at its strongest, when it's killing stuff and you're getting 2 coins, you're pretty much getting 1 mana back, kind of. And even better than that, it's in the form of 2 coins, so it helps you, you know, buff Jack, level up Jack, Samira, set, etc., etc. So yeah, big fan of this spell. Really, really good champ spell and good spell overall. Now the next guy, 5-Punch Pablo. This guy's kind of nuts in my opinion. 5-Punch Pablo is a 3-mana 4/1 with a tune. So arguably you could look at him and be like, oh, he's a 2-mana 4/1. Yeah, kind of yes, kind of no. Total amount of stats being 5 is a little weak for a 3-drop, but not terrible. I'd say, like, when it comes to a 3-drop, I'm looking for a total amount of stats of 6, but a tune does make up for the kind of low amount of total stats. The problem, in my opinion, is the stat allocation. I feel like it's supposed to be a callback to, well, other Pablo, Boxtopus, who is a 3-mana 3/4 challenger who deals 3 to himself, so he's technically a 3/1, so that's why 5-Punch Pablo is a 4/1. But what does he actually do? When I'm summoned, create a fleeting prize fight in hand. What is prize fight, though? Well, prize fight is a 1-mana fast spell that says an ally and an enemy strike each other. They can't drop below 1 health from this strike. I think prize fight is really, really good. Solid synergy with, well, just stuff that wants to strike, like Jack, of course. And just okay removal. Also pretty cute with Brash. You get things down to 1 health, and you use your Brash units like Jack and whatever other Brash units you're playing, if you're playing any others, to just attack. And they can't block, so yeah, I like it. I think this is a really good card. Solid piece of pseudo removal, I guess you can call it. You're in Bilgewater, so you can even play Make It Rain to clean up anything that has 1 health. Solid synergy too with Risky Venture. You play 5-Punch Pablo, you prize fight something, and then you finish it off with Risky Venture. So yeah, I like it. I think Pablo is gonna be a 3 of in a lot of Bilgewater decks. Lots of versatility. Yes, his stat allocation's a little bad in that he has 1 health. You know, things dying to pings are always bad, but rotation's happening, so less pings in the format, which is good. And our next card, very basic card here. We have Angel. Not much to talk about her. 5-mana 6/5 with Brash. Lot of stats for this card, but is she playable? I honestly think no. I think she's just too simple. Even maybe post-rotation, perhaps, but I just feel like if I'm playing a 5-drop, I want it to do more than just be good stats for the cost and a solid keyword. Like, I believe there is a card that's very similar to this, like Trifarian something, like some Trifarian card in Noxus that's basically the same thing, except with Fearsome. Like, it's a 5-mana 6/5 with Fearsome, and that card has never seen play. So this is kind of the reverse of that card in that instead of Fearsome, Angel has Brash. Very nice art. I'll give you that. But yeah, as for this card, I'm not a big fan of it. Maybe in the future with some kind of Brash synergy, because we have gotten that before with other keywords like, you know, Nightfall synergy. So perhaps something will make me want to play Angel, but for now, I'm not a big fan of playing Angel in any of my decks. If I just want some kind of big card, some kind of mana sink card, I feel like there's better stuff you can play in just Bilgewater alone, not to mention your second region. And our last couple of cards, we already talked about Prize Fight a little bit, but it's also a card you can just play in your deck as well. I think it's really good. I think you should be playing this card in your deck if you are a Jack deck. Not sure if I would play as a 3 of, but I think it's good enough. I think it is definitely a card that you should at least consider as a 3 of in your decks. And depending on the other cards in your decks in your other region as well, maybe you like have a lot of Make It Rings or pings, like the Pie card from Bandle. You can use this because you're going to need a way to finish off the unit, right? But I do feel like this is the kind of card that will be first or second to get cut from the deck when you're trying to make room for cards in your deck, of course. But I like the card. I think Prize Fight is a very solid playable card. But like I was saying though, it feels like more of a filler card where you're just like, I just need a couple more cards for my Bilgewater deck. I want them to be like a spell, interaction, removal, etc., etc. I'll choose for Prize Fight. And our last card, it's a boat. The King's Court. It is Jack's boat. Also, doesn't draw Jack, which is kind of not a fail at that, I'd say, but I feel like it's a first where it's a championship that doesn't draw the champion. You know, we have Leviathan for Swain, Siren for Misfortune, etc., etc. But what's the card actually do? Well, first off, it's a 7 mana 7/5 with Brash. Okay, big guy, big boat with a solid keyword, has a tune, so you get a little bit of a mana refund. I just realized also a tune's kind of nice because it also synergizes with level 2 Jack because you're technically refilling mana, so that's kind of cute. When you summon an ally, create a fleeting prize fight in hand. Okay, we already talked about prize fight. I like these cards that create these fleeting prize fights. Well, I was kind of being a little harsh on prize fight as a card itself. I love these cards that just create it in general. Now, what else does this card do? When an ally survives damage, grant it Brash. So there's the obvious synergy with the fleeting prize fight it creates. Also just combat as well. It just says damage too, so it doesn't even have to be combat damage from strikes or regular combat. So avalanches and stuff like that, ice shards, etc., etc. So yeah, I like this card. I think it is a solid top end for Jack decks, like 1 or 2 of for the top end. Unlike other boats that were playable, basically Leviathan though, it doesn't really put your opponent on the clock. And while it has some synergy with Jack, it's not crazy good synergy like Swain Leviathan. You get leveled up Swain out, you get Leviathan out, and you've pretty much locked their board. But I still think this is definitely at least a 2 of in certain decks. Granted, we also have Knuckle. And we're probably creating coins for Jack, so maybe we want Knuckle as our top end. Like we use Knuckle and then we summon Mako and then we summon Bull with our coins. Or we play both. We play like 3 Knuckles, 2 King Courts. And then some coin creators, of course. But yeah, big fan of Jack. Really, really like this guy. Can't wait to play some Jack set. Ionia seems pretty solid. We'll get Tag Out. Place Your Bets, I think is the name of the card draw spell. Deny, of course, is pretty solid. Hit Professional, the 3 mana 3/3 that creates a coin. When she's summoned, the Accountant, the 2 mana 1/2 elusive that when she Nexus strikes, she creates a coin. All of these new Bilgewater cards. You know, Pablo, Knuckle, Pocket Picker's a solid one, Bar Knuckles, just a very nice coin deck here floating around. And then we get to put in Set as well, who definitely wants us to be spending all this mana. And then we just throw in our usual just good other spells like Heavy Metal, Make It Rain, etc., etc. So yeah, that's my initial idea with Jack and with Set, but there's also other deck ideas I have floating around in my brain. Of course, Jack Samira. I'm also thinking like Jack Master Yi. Jack Zed is another one. I really like the guy. I also like maybe even Jack Jax with like weapon masters and equipment. I can't wait to brew with this guy. I feel like there's a lot of potential here with Jack. And in all honesty, with all of these cards, I feel like Set might be the weakest. And I honestly could also see myself being wrong and Set's actually the strongest, but I feel like Set's, even with all these cards shown, Set might still be a little too hard to level up, and as a 5-mana 4/5 with Challenger, a little slow, little weak for a champion. But yeah, big fan of these cards. Can't wait to see them, can't wait to play with them. So yeah, I'd love to hear your opinion on them, though. What do you think of Jack as well? Do you think Jack is good? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me when I say that I think Jack is very flexible and goes in a lot of decks and is going to be like the Trundle of Bilgewater, where he just goes in a big variety of decks? I think he just has a lot of versatility thanks to his solid stat line and the fact that coins are great for pretty much every single deck. And I'd love to hear how you guys would build Jack and some of these other cards too, and what you think about them as well. And if you guys just enjoyed the video in general, I would love it if you could leave a like or a comment down below. Always helps me and always helps out the channel. And if you want to watch me play some Legends of Runeterra, you can go and check me out over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Xanaton, where I stream every single day almost. Pretty much every single day. And I'm going to be streaming a lot because of these new cards. And if you want to also keep up with the Legends of Runeterra content, you can always go and subscribe to the channel as well. Anyway, though, with that all said and done, thank you all once more for watching this video. And until I see you guys in the next one, bye.